Hey y'all! Today I want to try something new. I'm going to film myself practicing drawing. I normally practice and then film a drawing after I've warmed up, but I want to try to document my drawing journey, showing how I practice and my thought process behind it. I hope that y'all also practice and get some motivation from my videos. In my last video, I mentioned how I wanted to practice drawing eyes to make them softer. So in this drawing session, I had that goal in mind. I tried a new technique for measuring the features of the face. After doing the normal cross section, I marked the nose halfway from the eye line and drew the mouth. I drew a circle for the general eye area. This circle was from the eye line to the nose, and the top of the circle is where the eyebrows went, and the eyes are drawn within that circle area. This is a good technique for helping me not draw the eyes too big. For the eyes in this drawing, I felt like the corners were too stiff, so I erased them and curved them so they'll have a softer feel to them. I'm still getting used to drawing hair without it being chunky and stiff, and I feel like the hair turned out great in this doodle today. This first head drawing had the best shading of all the heads. I didn't intend on shading because when I do, I tend to go overboard, but this doodle shading turned out well balanced. So in my New Year's goal video, I mentioned how I wanted to incorporate drawing more into my daily life. I feel like I'm just starting to get into the swing of it. I know it's mid-February, but starting a new habit doesn't happen overnight. You gotta try it and see how it feels, and then determine if you like it or not. If there's anything you're wanting to adjust, you adjust it. And that's currently the phase I'm in right now. I'm still figuring out the best area for me to sketch, so it's easy to get access to everything and then clean up afterwards. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to leave my stuff out and always clean up after myself whenever I'm done with a project. So in this drawing session, it has been clear to me that I am having a hard time figuring out how to draw semi-realistic anime faces. I keep on going between big stylized eyes to something with smaller features. I have come to terms with the realization that I'm still figuring out what my art style is. And that wraps up the first head drawing, which in my opinion turned out to be the best drawing of all of them. So to start off my second drawing, I draw, a big old circle and the cross section in it. What I'm doing differently now, instead of using the entire circle as the guide to the head, I'm going inside of the circle a little bit to thin out the face. And then with the mouth, I tried to do it in like 3 separate little lines where you have the 2 corners and then the center part, but it looked too weird, so I erased it and did just one simple line with the corners just darkened a bit. And then as I'm drawing the face, I noticed the eyes on the left side of the page, it was just way over to the side, so I erased it and brought it closer to the inside of the face. And then suddenly the video gets a yellow tint. I don't know what happened with that, but that turns out it happens throughout this video, so I'm sorry for that. I don't know what happened with my phone recording it, so that's something interesting and to improve on when I make future videos for y'all. So when I was drawing the nose just then, I do 2 dots for the nostrils and then a circle to indicate the volume of the nose. And also from the distance, it does look like you did shading for it, even though all you did was just draw a circle around it. So I think that's a neat little trick to do when you're drawing. So for this head doodle, I didn't go too dark with the shading on it. I used the 2H pencil to do the shadows, whereas in the other one, I used the B pencil to shade, which is darker. So as you can see from the results, the first drawing had much better pop of contrast than this one did. So in this head drawing, I really experimented the most in this one. I did the really big anime eyes with that, and I experimented with the eyelashes in it, and then I did the shaded nose instead of the pointy nose like I normally would do with it. Out of all the drawings I drew on this page today, she is the one that I didn't like the most. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you never know until you try something new and see if you like it or not. And you use that to improve going forward on your art. And here you can see where I was working on the eyelashes and doing one too many lashes, and it looked very twiggy, and that's just not the look I'm going for. I want it to be stylized. I also feel like I improved on stylizing the lips when I draw them and shade them in the pencil drawings. I feel like before I was just really overthinking it, and I just used simple lines, simple shading, and I really liked the results of it. So, less is more, the old saying is true. So I'm glad I actually listened and just simplified it. And speaking of less is more, I also simplified the highlights in the hair by just doing a zigzag design to imply that there is a highlight in the hair, since I didn't go full-on shading on all the hairs on the drawings here. This drawing I'm actually working on is inspired by my first ever OC Bizu. So this is her original hairstyle, just in a softer style instead of that chunky, stiff anime style. And now instead of drawing heads, I am just doodling different anime eyes, just trying to get down how I can make it softer, how can I make it, a nice hybrid between stylized and semi-realistic. I'm really focusing on how I rendered the corners of the eye, because before it was very rigid and stiff, so I was focusing on that. And then I decided to try to connect everything like in a more realistic way that an eye is, or how one would render it in a painting, where you have the corner, where the eye begins and then it curves around. Based on what I drew today, I feel like I need to practice drawing my facial features smaller. I also need to incorporate more shades when rendering the shadows. My concern is then trying to figure out how to translate that into color when I use my markers. It might be that I'll develop a whole new drawing approach when I draw with markers versus pencils. Now on this eye I'm drawing right here, the eyelashes came out super stiff. Like, it is so ugly, it makes me cringe. But I do like how I went and used darker shades of pencils to color it in, and it just makes it pop. Even though it's a little ugly, it still pops, so that's okay. And then when I get done drawing all those eyes, I decide I'm just gonna draw an itty bitty little anime head over there. And I went full on anime style with that. Like, I didn't even do a nose with the nostrils. I did just the little dot and the shiny on top. She turned out really cute. Like, it was a lot of fun to draw her. It just really brought me back to when I first got into drawing. So it was just a really fun little doodle to do in the corner. And that concludes this drawing session. Please like if you like, and subscribe to see what I'm up to. And I appreciate all of y'all so much for stopping by and just hanging out and doodling. And I hope this motivates some of y'all to just get out your sketchbook and doodle and just see where it takes you. You just never know what you will create and learn from it. I hope you have a nice day. Bye.